Hi everyone, so I'm here with the astrology of the week. This is for November 10th through the 16th. Just keep in mind that we're in Mercury retrograde. Really important for you to know that because of what is going to be coming up. It started on Sunday, and this entire week, though we talk about the astrology, though we go through all these different aspects, always keep in the back of your mind that we are in Mercury retrograde. And this one is very different than all the other Mercury retrogrades because it's, yes, you'll probably have glitchiness with your computers. Yes, you will probably have glitchiness with communications and with people understanding you. But the biggest thing that you're going to be stuck up in is that this Mercury retrograde is bringing back to the forefront some kind of emotion that you've been trying to ignore. Let's say you had a conflict with a coworker back in the day when you were in your early 20s. I don't know how old you are, but let's just say that early 20s. And you moved on from there. Right now, you are a CEO of a huge company, etc. And all of a sudden, you wake up one day and you remember the face, the event, many details about it. And then you find yourself kind of irritated, like the F, why is this even coming up? Why am I feeling this? Why am I even bothering with this situation? The reason you're bothering for this situation is because this Mercury retrograde is for you to finally bring up all that old shit, let's say, that you have inside your body to flush it out. This thing that comes up has a theme. It might present itself like a specific person, and it might present itself like a specific situation in your life. But if you take a step back and actually meditate about the situation, you're going to realize how it's been a common theme in your life where many situations kind of link to that same theme. And that has been your glass ceiling, the thing that has been blocking you from being your authentic self. And the reason it's coming through is because this Mercury retrograde is a calling back your power, return to sender, go F yourself to whatever the hell this is. All right. And so keep that in mind because whatever comes up, you're going to want to run away from it. You're going to want to fight. You're going to feel like a victim. And it's all so that you can flush this toilet. Don't allow it to sink you into that old emotion. You are a different person now. Remember that and move forward at it. All right. Monday and November 10th. Interesting day. We have the moon in Cancer. We had it on Sunday. We have it again on Monday. But the moon in Cancer is starting to transfer from Cancer all the way into Leo. So we're moving away from tending to our nest, thinking about those relationships, keeping ourselves in a safe space so we feel comfortable, into the energy of I'm the authority of my life. I am a strong fire energy. I am that lion. Hear me roar. So it's transitioning to an energy of I need to take action. For people that actually feel disempowered or don't feel they have the strength to move over, you might be experiencing a lot of heartburn energy, like right in the beginning part of your tummies, because it's trying to push that energy through. Whenever masculine energy is being present, your solar plexus energy starts to activate. And if you have a block in your power where you feel disempowered or you feel limited, blah, 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 you'll feel it experience a lot of gas, or you'll feel it experiencing a lot of heartburn or a lot of like upper digestive issues. Okay. Very important for you to note because we are going to be in the energy of Leo on Monday and on Tuesday. So this is probably, if you're having these heartburn issues and situations, it's so that you can do something about it because there is a disempowerment energy that is flowing towards you. Second thing, Saturn retrograde in Pisces, right? This is when we're addressing belief systems that we have that are not functioning with us anymore and that we need to readjust, right? That's like your spiritual belief systems or your religious belief systems. And it doesn't need that it has to be about religion. It's like, I always fill in the blank. That's my religious belief system. The thing you do every single day. That is being addressed because it's incorrect and you need to reestablish it and see if it's correct for you. Is going to be linking up with a trine. So like a boomerang return to energy of Lilith and Scorpio. Lilith being the energy of rebellion, of independence, of this is not right, of I have to change this, and Scorpio, which is the fiery emotions. I'm going to call it like that because Scorpio, even though it's a water sign, it is a vicious water sign, right? It's one where it goes really deep into its subconscious. It clears out the garbage. It has to do a lot with your subconscious mind, with your spiritual self, and with what you deserve, like your spiritual inheritance, your physical inheritance, what you deserve. So just this combination that we're seeing here is you're strong, you're active, your divine masculine energy is literally awakening. And now it's time for me to face this one thing that I kept accepting because I thought it was true and because I needed to fall in line because that was how I was taught or that's how I seen the world. And now stand up and say, F this. This is not right. I need to fix this. I need to break free for this. I'm going to break down this wall. So you might feel, I want to say rage. And like this feeling of I need to defend myself and I need to be altruistic and I need to like put that line in the grass because this is complete bullshit, right? That's the energy that we have here. Very intense, very courageous, very claiming, staking your claim and the things that you would like for your greatest good and your divine purpose. We also have the energies of karmic cycles coming through. And when these karmic cycles come through, this is the reason why the Mercury retrograde is so important, right? Because it's all falling in the same energy. You are strong, you're vibrant, you're courageous, you are altruistic, you are rebelling against a belief system that is not yours because you're realizing that this is that stupid cycle that has you stuck being less than what you really are. So again, let me just say this, take a breath, because the first thing that you want to do when you find yourself in a cage is to fight your way out. And sometimes fighting your way out is not the best way to go. The movie Split comes into mind. If you guys haven't seen it, it's about a person that has multiple personalities and they abduct some people. And two of the girls that get abducted, their first reaction is fight, 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 fight. And one of the girls' reaction is stop, pause, think things through. Does this make sense? How can I move forward? How can I make sure to move in the direction that's going to bring me strength, vitality, hope, a positive outlook instead of being stuck in the same shit that I've been stuck in this entire time? And that's what this is calling you to do. Though you have that fire in your gut, it's knowing how to tame the fire so it doesn't destroy everything and you actually end up ahead. Okay? I hope that makes sense. All right, now we get to 11/11, the 11/11 portal, November 11th, Tuesday. The moon is still in Leo, so we are still active in our masculine energy. We're still very fiery. We're still very active in trying to remove obstacles and to take control back to situations that we have given our authority to negatively influence us, to create glass ceilings, to put us in a box. Right? I'm hearing you don't put baby in the corner, right? So you've been putting yourself in this corner because of these belief systems or these restrictions or these traumas or these experiences that you've experienced. Okay. So that's the first thing. But now what we have is Jupiter retrograding in the sign of Cancer until March 10th, 2026. For you to understand how Jupiter retrograde is going to influence you, I would like you to kind of have a thought back in the summertime and things that you experienced during the summertime that you've determined clearly these are not my people, this is not my energy, I reject this way of thinking, this way of being, I reject this, right? It's an energy of rejection because you can't do any better there. It's not fertile ground. You're not going to be able to create anything new there. You're stagnant. That energy is coming back and it's going to stay with us in the vengeance starting the 11/11 all the way till March of next year. Okay. That energy is very interesting because we have Jupiter, which is our good luck, good favor, expansion energy, being in retrograde. That's this shoe doesn't fit. I feel uncomfortable and I want to get out of it. We have Mercury retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius, literally telling you this belief system has created a box that you've created that doesn't let you move forward, right? And then we also have Saturn retrograde, and it all started because you accepted this belief system to be true. And it's time for you to let it go. We have 3 retrogrades at once. This is like, can you just imagine? I'm just going to put it this way. Can you just imagine somebody having like that existential crisis where they're thinking everything that I thought was true is a lie? This is what this 1111 portal is going to do, right? This is the beginning of what the theme of 2026 is going to be about. This, everything I thought to be true, it is a fucking lie. And who am I now? What do I really want? How can I move forward? There can be anger. There can be fear. There can be doubt. You might feel like a victim. All of it is very valid. It's important for you to feel it. It's important for you to express it. And also it's important for you to breathe, because existential crises where your life is totally falling apart and everything is degrading into nothing because you're thinking, what the hell did I waste all this time for? Are real. And you go through all the stages of mourning in it. And there's a feeling of like soul death, like a death of a person, except the person, it's not somebody else. The person is you. And so there is an energy of overwhelm that starts this Tuesday. And I want you to be mindful of it, because if you know, you will gauge yourself, you will give yourself a breath, you will give yourself pause, and you'll tell yourself, I know this fucking sucks, right? But I think I'm ready now to see how I want to move forward, which is great because the following day starts planning. So give yourself this moment to freak out, and at the same time, ground yourself so you don't freak out too bad. I hope this helps. Now we are on Wednesday the 12th. The moon will be moving from the sign of Leo into the sign of Virgo. Mercury retrograde is still in Sagittarius, but now it creates like a conjunction, so a connection. Let's be friends with Mars and Sagittarius. So now we have Mars and the Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius. This can be very feisty. All right. The energy of Virgo is really good for this period of time because we had Monday and Tuesday that were very, very heavy days. Okay. Very wake up call days, very disillusionment days, very anger days, etc. And now we move into a more grounded and stable energy, which is Virgo. I mean, come on, right? And now that we're in Virgo, you are being given the allowance to really process what is coming through. Process those emotions and process that energy of anger and resentment that came up Monday and Tuesday. Then we have this energy of Mercury retrograde, where you're being called back to an occasion in your life that this happened in the past, right? So this is, holy crap, this is exactly like when I was in my 20s, right? If you don't know what I'm talking about, that was in the introduction in the full video if you're seeing a small one. And so it's like, this is exactly what that energy, and it's an energy of like not only validating where you're at this moment, but also coming to the realization that this has happened to me before and I survived it before, but maybe I didn't survive it in the most sound way. Maybe I ran away from it, and now it's time for me to confront this problem. Okay. Then we have the conjunction of Mars and Sagittarius. Mars and Sagittarius. Okay. Why is this so important? Because besides the coming back of a situation, besides all this energy, you're in a warrior like energy to speak your mind and to put everything on the table. But you're also in this energy of, I'm going to fly away from this thing really quick because hell no, I'm not putting up with this bullshit again. So it depends on how you dealt with a situation that is coming up during this Mercury retrograde the last time, because the reason it's coming up is because you did it wrong the first time, and it's time for you to do it differently. Okay, so if the last time you ran away, this is for you to sit down, speak your piece, clear the air, and call it a day. If the last time you spoke your piece, then maybe it's time for you to walk away, right? So there's two ways that are confronting the situation that you are being called to address. And with this energy of Virgo, you're just literally like, okay, so let me do a checklist and let me think things through. Yes, I would recommend for you to write it down. There is something about taking all this information that's blowing up in your head and putting it in a piece of paper and like just hashing it through. Because, and this is, I mean, I know some people are really into typing and stuff, but there's something about your movement with your hand and your mental capacity. It's kind of like your brain starts making neural pathways because you're moving your hand at the same time. And it's not the same with typing. Write it down, because we do have till December of this year, the 15th of December, when Mars is going to be in Sagittarius. So you will be in this energy of calling a bitch out, or deuces, I'm over it. That energy this entire time. Okay. And it is very practical to have Virgo, because you can like gather your thoughts and put them in a line and see what's really going on. So take it to your advantage at this time, because I'm sure the emotions that stir up make you want to fight, right? But to be grounded in those emotions and understand why it is that you want to fight, what it is that you feel that is unjust, etc., will help you a lot to determine what's your next step. Okay? I hope this helps. So now we get to Thursday, but we're actually going to be talking about Thursday and Friday because the energy is the same. November 13th and the 14th. The only thing major that is happening is that the moon is in the sign of Virgo. It transitioned from Wednesday on Wednesday from Leo to Virgo, and it will be remaining in Virgo all the way through Friday. And what is this energy trying to tell you? This energy is trying to make you address the complex situations that came about Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, right? Virgo has a way of grounding a situation, really putting it down on paper and seeing what they should take care of first. I would strongly recommend for you guys to really sit. This is when I told you guys, please take a breath, please think, please don't be reactive. This is why. Because this situation is not going to be fixed overnight. It's going to take your strong analysis and your strong will to be able to move the situation forward in a way that will be beneficial to you. Repeated, a way that is beneficial to you, that leaves you better at the end. Now, the energy of Virgo does have a negative attribute, which is it's stuck in idea island and it never leaves there, right? Where you're creating idea and then, oh, that's not good enough, create it again. And that's not good enough and create it again. It's really big on procrastination. And usually when it's big on procrastination, it's a way to avoid actually taking accountability and responsibility for a situation. It doesn't matter what choice you make, either one or whatever choice you make will always have consequences, and they will be your responsibility to take care of, to work past, and to progress from. Okay, that is just the thing. So, that being said, you can see how some people will be like, no, that idea is a bad idea. I'm going to move it this way. No, that idea is a bad idea. Let me move this way. No, this idea is a bad idea. Let me move it this way. And you keep changing your ideas and how you're going to proceed in something because you're trying to procrastinate, because you don't want to take accountability or responsibility for a situation. Some things are really scary, right? The decisions that you make will affect your career, your life, your happiness, your health, your well-being. So of course you're going to have these moments of, no, I have to tweak this system a little bit. So we have Thursday and Friday, where you really have to sit down, write these things down. I recommend you so strongly to write them down. Again, we create neural pathways that connect from when we move our arms certain positions. Um, that really activate different things in your brain. And it's not the same when you're typing, because all you're doing is moving your fingers. And if we were going a magic-y way, this is why we have mudras that move your fingers, but we have things moving your fingers activate things. But we have things like Tai Chi or Qigong where we're moving our entire body, or yoga where we're moving our entire body, because the flow doesn't remain here, it remains through your whole body and you move it. So when you're writing, you're actually like doing a magic spell, right? You're drawing it towards you and you moving it around, which is then effectively changing you and the way that you think and then the way that you process, and you're opening the door to spirit to talk to you. So I do feel like it would be really good for you to write it down. The idea, the problem, what you should be taking care of first. What is your responsibility versus what is somebody else's responsibility? Because sometimes we take on too much shit that will not help us. But if we like write things down, we can say, oh, wait, I can't do anything about that because this has to do with this person or this situation or this group or this organization, but I can do this. So let me focus on this, and then split that down a little bit further. So you have bite-sized pieces. Again, Mars will be in Sagittarius until the 15th of December. So we do have time to work this through, make a really good, effective plan, and move forward in it. Okay. So that being said, get to work, and you can fix this. And the biggest thing that I want to tell you over all things is that you're not an island by yourself. You have resources. You've met people. You have outlets through social media even that can help you in this process. So use the tools that you have available to you. I hope this helps. So we get to the weekend, and this is for Saturday the 15th and Sunday the 16th. And the reason for it is because the moon's moving from Virgo to Libra, and the only great significant aspect of these 2 days is that the moon is in Libra. So we had a very interesting week. A lot of things came up, a lot of, things from the past, emotions that we didn't deal with, etc., etc. And here we go with the next 2 days having to deal with the moon in Libra. The moon in Libra is good because it creates a sense of balance where we're like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. This makes sense. This doesn't make sense. And we balance out the decisions of the actions that were going to take place that we just planned these last 2 days, the Thursday and Friday. We were planning things. On Saturday and Sunday, we're weighing the possible positives and negatives of the actions that we're going to proceed going forward. Okay, so that's very good energy, this Libra energy. Now, something that I need you to be mindful of. Libra has a way of being very altruistic. In other words, Libra has a way of seeing justice, like things that are fair and not fair, and things have to balance out because they say, okay. And in those scales that they have to judge situations, and this is all of us because we're immersed in this Libra depends highly in how healed we are or how broken we are. So sometimes the scales are rigged. Okay, keep that in mind. Secondly, we've just had so much past emotionally dumped on us. And so, again, depending on how much work you do with yourself, will depend on how well your judgment will be going forward. So, this can create an excessive amount of anger. This can create an excessive amount of resentment. And this can create an excessive amount of victim mentality or victimhood. So, I want to tell you that one of the best things that you can do for yourself during this period of time is to rely on things that bring you back to balance. This can be prayer. This can be meditation. This can be ritual work. This can be counseling. This can be like groups that help reinforce those positive things that you know you can do, that gives you that strength to reclaim whatever it is that you need for your future. That can be done with this. I am big on us being advocates for ourselves and for us to be able to find the help that we need. This is very magician energy, right? Where you're looking for the things that can help your mind, the swords, the actions you can take that can change your reality, the wands, the resources that you have via videos online, appointments with counselors or with mental health professionals or spiritual people or gurus, and the resources you have monetarily to be able to get this done, pentacles and cups, the emotions that you need to heal. I don't know if you guys have seen those videos of people seeing like grandma and the cup is like really dirty with water, like really brown water. And then the grandma pours into mother and it's still brown water. And then mother pours into herself a whole mess of clear water until it clears it out. And then mother can transfer to daughter a positive cup. This is your responsibility to do. It's not fair sometimes, the things that we have to experience. It's not fair that people believe they have the power, they have the position, they have the authority to suppress us, to oppress us, to make us feel less than just because they feel like it. And they can give themselves whatever justifications that they want for their actions. But it is our responsibility to heal ourselves, to clear ourselves, and to move forward. And so I'm saying, again, you might be really caught up in your feelings this weekend. You might feel that it's not fair that you're having to experience this. And that's very valid. And so I would encourage you to do things that will help you hold that space of that feeling so that you can process it correctly this time, because it's coming back up because you didn't do it the last time. And then allow yourself to flush that toilet, right? I hope this helps.